What's up guys, Curtis here and welcome to a brand new series I'm going to be starting on my second channel. This series is a cool little series that I'm going to be doing on Football Manager. So what we're doing, as you can tell by the title, we are seeing what Arsenal would be like without Arséne Wenger. It's going to be a Football Manager test series. So as you can see, I started unemployed, so I'm not at a club. Arsenal are the team that I've taken obviously Wenger away from. We'll see who they appoint and see how they do. We'll go season by season, so let's hope it works. I've recorded this twice so far and both times I've had some sort of recording fail in the audio not picking up or the video being broken, so let's hope this one works. So let's have a look how they got on through. I've just simulated one season. I haven't looked at anything. I've been unemployed for that season, so let's see just what has happened. So Andre Villas-Boas took over as manager. That happened in one of the two previous times I've done this with all the recording fails. So where did they finish? They finished in 4th. They got 4th place. They got in the Champions League again. They were very clear of 5th. Very, very clear of Man United. Hull finished in 7th. And Tottenham won the league. Well, I wouldn't trust this one. But, so like I said, Andre Villas-Boas took over. Arsenal had a very stagnant finish once again. Finished in 4th. Let's have a look. Top goal scorer was Olivier Giroud. They actually played him. Only one of the 2 other times did they. They bought Griezmann. That's a good little signing. That. Let's have a proper look at their signings. If we go to transfer history, they bought in Griezmann. They bought in March, and they bought in Isla. That's an interesting one as well. Isla. How many games he played? Not very many. He's barely been included. And Solly March. I don't really know who he is. I assume he's a youngster. He's played. Oh, he's been loaned out. Okay, yeah, that's interesting. So that's quite a cool one. And obviously Griezmann. He has been involved in a lot of games. As a sub, I guess he'll probably come into fruition more as their little season goes, as their few seasons either go on. So let's look at the fixtures. Let's see how they got on in all competitions. I won't look there to spoil anything. So start of Champions League, got knocked out in the quarterfinal to Real Madrid. They had a tricky qualifying. Sociedad, that's very hard. Then they had a tricky group of Anderlecht, AC Milan, Olympiacos. AC Milan, Olympiacos, you'd think would give them trouble, but actually they won 5 out of the 6 games and drew the other one, conceding 1 in the 6 games. That's very impressive. And then Real Madrid, and they kind of flopped there. They had Carl Jenkinson playing, Sanya, Vermaelen. I don't know what formation they were playing, but didn't do too well in the Champions League there. Capital One Cup, they got knocked out by West Ham, and Chelsea beat them in the final of the FA Cup. So that's the first season. Let's go another season and see how they get on. So here we are, season number 2. So Cardiff have sacked Solskjaer, Bolton have sacked Frieden, there's a Sunderland job open, there's a Senegal job open, but the Arsenal job has not changed. So by the looks of things, Andre Villas-Boas is still in charge at Arsenal. Is he? Yes, he is. Mikel Arteta is now is down as the captain. I think he might have been before, but I seem to remember Thomas Vermaelen was in there. And to see Jack Wilshere as vice captain instead of Mertesacker is interesting. But Mertesacker is still there. Thomas Vermaelen is nowhere to be seen. So they finished 4th again. That should have been the thing I looked straight at. Now, Tottenham won the league once again. Man United finished in 9th. That is unbelievable. That's obviously the Moisey effect, but they've now got Gus Hiddink there. That's interesting. Yeah, Tottenham won the league again. They were Arsenal were a bit closer to not coming 4th. Tottenham won the league on goal difference as well. 1 goal. That's unbelievable. But yeah, not really too good there for Arsenal. Let's have a quick look at fixtures. They have still got to play the Euro Cup final, so we'll quickly sim forward in a minute at the end of this and have a look. So they also won. Okay, right, let's go for this slowly. So Champions League, they got knocked out in the playoffs by Monaco, went straight into the Europa League. Capital One Cup, they won the final of the Capital One Cup on penalties. That's pretty impressive. Then the FA Cup, they won the FA Cup against Cardiff. They're now in the Europa League final against Monaco. They could go ahead and win all 3 of these. That's madness. The only cup game they've lost is 2-0 against PSG, and then they went and smashed it 5-0 other than the qualifying. They have absolutely ripped it up in the domestic ones. We'll go see if they win that one. That'll be quality if they beat Monaco. So let's actually have a more in-depth look at the squad. So the top scorer is Lucas Podolski. That is something I haven't seen once in my 3 attempts at this. Then we've got Giroud. Then we've got Ramsey banging in goals there. Giroud has scored 16 in 24 starts. Now I wonder why he hasn't started so many. Griezmann has started a ton. He's done pretty well. Let's have a look at top average rating. Jack Wilshere has smashed it out of the park. That's fantastic. Podolski's been very good. A lot of these players have been very good. That's unusual. In previous ones I've seen Ozil not do too well, a few other players, Cazorla, not do too well, but they have indeed. Now left back wise, I think Kieran Gibbs, he's still there, but Nacho Monreal is getting just as many, if not more, games. Coquelin playing left back. That's strange. So let's have a quick full look at the transfers before we move on. So they bought in, that was last season, they bought in Hatem Ben Arfa, as has happened in the previous 2 simulations of this. I don't know why that always happens. Chris Smalling has been bought. Hang on, let's have a quick look. Ben Arfa played as well. 29 games. Oh, he played very well, actually. We bought in McBride from Celtic. He looks like a regen. Tom Heaton. They bought in Chris Smalling, which is a very strange one. Didn't really play that many. I played 19 league games, I guess. Half the games. Still a bit weird. Nachko, never heard of him before in my life, and wasn't really very effective. Jamal Blackman on a free transfer. That's the Chelsea goalie, I believe, the reserve one. Yep, and then Eric Matoho. I don't know who he is. But they sold Johan Juru finally. Flamini went on loan, which is interesting. Thomas Vermaelen, like I said, had left, and he's gone to Monaco, which is an interesting one. Bakary Sagna to Montpellier for 1.6 mil. That's very little. Diaby gone, Rosicky gone. A lot of good players there gone on frees, which is a bit of a shame, but that's just the way it is. So let's go see how they got on in that cup, and then we'll move on to the next season. So let's quickly see how they got on. They're on holiday now. They won the Europa League. Fantastic season, really, for Arsenal and Andre Villas-Boas. I'm sure they won't be too happy about 4th place, but it is one season up on last season where they... no, exactly the same even on last season, but instead of a trophyless season, they have gone and bagged themselves 3 pieces of silverware. As an Arsenal fan, I would be absolutely ecstatic to win the Europa League, the FA Cup, and the Capital One Cup in one season. I would be just so excited. So let's go on to the last season now and see how they get on in that one. So guys, this is the 3rd and final season. Let's see how Arsenal get on. I don't know how long this video will be. Hopefully it isn't too long. But Andre Villas-Boas is still the manager. Jack Wilshere is now the captain. Whoever was the captain, I believe it was Arteta, has obviously moved on. And oh my goodness, they finished 7th. They haven't even got Europa League this season. 64 points, just 4 points off a 3rd. Madness. Tottenham didn't win the league for once. Newcastle, Swansea, Everton all finishing above them. Liverpool and Man United below. Going down is West Ham, Ipswich, Sunderland. We've got some interesting teams near indeed, but Arsenal aren't going to be happy about that. As an Arsenal fan, I would not be happy about 7th, but we'll have a quick look at the team. In fact, no, we won't. I don't know who Tom Heaton is, but that's probably why they've done so badly. But let's have a quick look at the schedule. I'm not going to look down to not spoil it for myself. But Champions League, they got knocked out in the first knockout round to Zenit St. Petersburg. Capital One Cup, knocked out in the semi-final to Liverpool. FA Cup, knocked out in the semi-final to Manchester City. Europa League, not in it. They won the Super Cup against Tottenham, wow. And the Community Shield, they lost to Tottenham. So really, an absolutely terrible season from Arsenal compared to the last one with 3 pieces of silverware. This year they haven't won a single thing. Now, the team, this is not Arsenal. I mean, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players in that starting 11 that are at Arsenal at the moment. It's very, very different. Average rating, Aaron Ramsey once again has absolutely ripped it up. Mesut Ozil's not even really been a starter. Jack Wilshere has been injured for a little while, but he's been good. Peruzzi has been alright. Joe Allen has been bought. Let's have a proper look at the transfers, because that's a little bit interesting, some of the ones that have been bought. So they bought in Gino Peruzzi, the right back. I don't really know much about this guy, if I'm completely honest with you, but paying 25 million for a right back is absolutely madness. But obviously Jenkinson left, as you can see, wasn't doing enough, I assume. Batshuayi from Standard Liège, he's valued at 15 mil, and they picked him up for 6.75. That's a good signing, I guess. 18 goals in 32 games. You can't really complain about that. I mean, that's a decent return, but obviously not good enough. Martin Skirtle for 1.2 million. Somehow picked him up out of the bargain bin. That's a great signing at 1.2 mil. Michael Carroll, not a Scooby-Doo who this guy is, but he's obviously a youngster. And Joe Allen at 3.3 million. That's another one that's very questionable. So Tom Heaton is in the starting 11. I don't have a clue who this guy is. He was bought last season for 600k. He played 32 games last season after coming from Burnley. He's conceded 45 and kept just 10 clean sheets. That really doesn't seem like one of the smartest ideas they've ever had. When they've got Wojciech Szczesny, I mean, he's worth 170k, he's worth 15 mil. That seems really, really quite odd to me. I don't understand that whatsoever. But appearances, Ramsey's obviously played loads. Peruzzi, I mean, out of the top 6 there, only 2 of them are actually at Arsenal. Some very, very interesting ones indeed. So that is basically the end of this series, guys. Hopefully I've covered everything you would like to see throughout the season. Surely Andre Villas-Boas can't be comfortable in his job, but perhaps they are happy to finish in 7th place. We thought the same about Arséne Wenger finishing. He might not finish in the top 4, but that's just the way it is. Let me know what you guys think about this little series. Stick any comments down below for other things you'd like to see me test on a Football Manager as well. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. Have a nice day, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.